Hi, I'm Peoria Mayor Cathy Carlat. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Peoria Pulse. Recognized as a statewide and regional leader in sustainability and known for our exceptional quality of life, it's no wonder the city of Peoria was ranked 7th on the America's 50 Best Cities to Live list by Yahoo Finance. Our approach to urban planning safeguards our most precious resources, while our commitment to sustainability empowers us to take hold of every opportunity to review our policies and practices through the lens of long-term viability. Today, I'm happy to be joined by Lisa Estrada, Peoria's Economic Efficiency and Sustainability Manager, to talk about Peoria's logical and focused approach to sustainability. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's start out with a definition. Just simply, what does sustainability mean?
Sure. Sustainability, simply stated, means the ability to meet the needs of today without compromising the ability for future generations to meet their own needs. But I don't want to keep it so simple. I also want to add another little dimension to that. And sustainability is mostly viewed around just the environment, but it's much more than that. It's more holistic than that. It's really looking at the environment, the economy, and the people, or our community. And really, to be truly sustainable, all of those things have to be in balance. And so, for example, when you're looking at the economy, of course, we would like a strong economy. A strong economy brings growth and jobs and all of those good things, but we don't want to do it at the expense of the environment. And vice versa. We don't want to just focus on the environment without seeing what the impacts are to the economy as well. So we want all of those areas to thrive. And at the center of it all is really people, the community. It's about you, it's about me, it's about Peoria residents. And we want to make sure that we are considering all of those different areas of sustainability when making decisions and looking towards the future.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That is a really clean-cut definition that I needed to have, and I'm sure a lot of other people needed to have too. Now let's talk about how sustainability works within our particular environment. So we have a city that is growing and growing and growing, and I know that utility, electricity, all kinds of commodities costs are rising and rising. So how does sustainability help us to balance all of that?
I think that the first thing I would like to talk about is our Sustainability Action Plan. We had it adopted by the mayor and the council in 2012 and later ratified in 2016, again, renewing our commitment for sustainability for a sustainable future. In the Sustainability Action Plan, we outline the goals and objectives that impact all areas of sustainability, pretty much the things that you have just listed. Things like reducing energy costs, resource conservation, smart water planning principles, smart design principles, as well as a robust education and outreach program to educate our citizens on how they can be sustainable as well.
Just this last June, just a few months ago, we entered into a contract that took us leaps and bounds ahead in our sustainability program. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So a couple years ago, the city embarked down a journey to create, or actually to go through a number of city facilities, 21 to be exact. It was a very, very extensive energy audit. We really dove deep into the weeds of how mechanical equipment is running, as well as behavior of those using the energy in these facilities. And in the end, we ended up with 16 different facilities that we definitely could jump right in and do some really great energy efficiency retrofits, which basically entails changing older lighting technology to newer LED lighting technology, as well as expanding our solar projects here at the city. And so as a bonus, not only are we going to add solar to the city of Peoria's facilities, it's going to be solar covered parking. Oh. And as summers are getting warmer and they're lasting a little bit longer, we're going to be in desperate need for any shade whatsoever. So being able to have solar, a renewable energy source, using as logical as the Arizona sun, as well as having the solar covered parking in our city facilities for our guests and visitors, is really a true win-win for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember this contract and voting on it in the city council meeting, and it pays for itself.
That's
doesn't
right.
it?
That's right. So we're already spending the money on existing utilities, and the through this project, we're able to utilize the funds that we're already spending, because once we reduce that energy, we take those savings, which are really dollars, and apply them towards these investments. And if all goes well, as we would expect, after the end of the program, in terms of solar, for example, that's free power back to the city. That's what we expect to see in about 18 years. But again, the project is being paid for through existing utility funds, no new money.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really irresponsible of us not to do this, not to do these audits, not to look further into what we can do to improve our existing condition. So I really, really appreciate you doing this. I remember when you started on this, you embarked on this program and you went to all of our fire stations, all of our maintenance operations centers, all of our headquarters building, and really did a substantial dive into what we could do to save our dollars and to prepare us for the future. I remember that. I remember it very well. It was a lot of work for you, but I really appreciate you doing that. And in a minute, we're going to talk a little bit about how citizens at home can do that too. Sure. But before we get to that, I would like you to just touch on water. I mean, it is a precious resource, and I you know, in Peoria, we really take a lot of pride in making sure that we have a diverse portfolio and that we're taking good care of water for the future. So how does sustainability enter into that?
Well, definitely water is one of our main principles in our sustainability action plan, and Peoria's long-term approach to water management ensures that we have a diverse water portfolio. In addition to that, we have an array of policies and procedures that also ensure that we have reliable, safe water supplies for Peoria residents now and well into the future as we look at build out. So definitely that is very true. And I think a smart water management as a concept or a title seems to be I think we can't fully appreciate the concept of smart water management because we don't really know what's going on below the Earth's surface, right? There's a lot of things with the aquifers, the water tables, or water levels at Lake Mead that are 200 miles away, the Colorado River. Yeah. There's a lot of complexities that are going on behind the scenes. But what can be seen that's very visible in our very own neighborhoods and parks are the purple pipes, for example. The purple pipes is an indication that water that is reclaimed or recycled is flowing right through there, specifically, and has been specifically treated for landscape use. When you consider the amount of water use that occurs, 80% of it is outdoors. So it makes perfect sense to really have these systems in place, these practices in place to ensure that we're using the right water for the right use.
80% of our water is used for landscaping.
Outdoors.
Yes. That is incredible. And so this purple pipe system, it takes the water that's already been used once, brings it through the infrastructure to be used again and again.
That's right.
Yes, that's really worth it when we talk about the expense that it takes to put in new infrastructure. And the purple pipe system is something that I am really, really watching closely because we need it in all of our parks. We need it in all of our city buildings for sure. And hopefully we can get that infrastructure to our entire city at some point. That's really a big goal of mine.
Yeah, good.
Well, so now it's time. I want to talk about Sustainability University. How can our citizens become involved? How can they benefit in their own homes?
Sure. Well, I'm most excited about this program. It really connects us with our residents. So Sustainable University, or Sustainable U as we brand it, is really a program aimed to educate and empower our citizens to learn more how they can be sustainable in their own day-to-day lives. You know, and the city has made great strides to becoming a sustainable city, but we can't do it alone. We really need to rely on every one of us to really do our part to really lend itself to a much larger scale impact for the future. And with these courses, these workshops are mostly designed around water conservation and gardening. We want people to consider going back to basics, looking at growing their own foods. It's a more healthier lifestyle. You know, gardening, using the right amount of water. We're often seeing way too much water being used unnecessarily. So through these workshops, we have master gardeners that attend and teach these workshops. They're passionate people, they're experts in their fields, and they really care about sharing this knowledge and educating folks. And with the workshops, not only are you able to, you know, learn these techniques, but you're able to save money. You know, a lot of times we do it through trial and error. But think about all the small starter plants that we have, or the seeds, or the amount of water. that we're putting into, only for it to die right before our eyes. But you know, it's really great to see when, especially when we have people relocate to Peoria, they come from other parts of the country that have better soil conditions, they're not as harsh, they have humidity and more rainfall. So what works there doesn't quite work so well here. So really understanding the climate and understanding how to grow a bountiful garden in this environment is really special and unique. So we encourage folks to come out to the workshops. They're very well attended, they're engaging, they're informative, and really bring value.
And they're free.
And they're free.
And they're free.
That's
That's
right.
the good news too.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Lisa, and thanks for all that you are doing to make sure that we are not only meeting the needs the best way possible today, but also for the future, for future generations.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Assured delivery of services and amenities requires long-term planning and thoughtful, intentional management of resources and finances. It requires sustainable practices that we can count on to bridge the gap between where we are today and where we want to be in the future. Peoria's Sustainability Action Plan outlines our goals and objectives, and I am proud to see so many accomplishments since its inception. We recognize that environmental stewardship translates to financial stewardship, and perhaps most importantly, it's simply the right thing to do. I pledge Peoria's continued commitment to economic viability and environmental responsibility as we work with our community to create a city that is sustainable for future generations. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Peoria Pulse.